Hey guys, this is IX RolloutIX with Rollout Reviews, continuing on to part 2 of the Toa Mata Nui Let's Build. To recap the last part, we spent a whole lot of time building some legs, and that's about it. But those are some really nice legs. Yeah. Anyway, let's move on. In this part, we are going to build the chest, the arms, and the weapons. So that should be all kinds of fun. I also thought of a couple things, a couple topics that I could talk about during the break. So we'll talk about those and we'll get started here because I don't want to go on talking about a whole lot of nothing like I did at the start of the last video and then, only start building like 5 minutes in. Anyway, so I wanted to talk a little bit about 2009 because this set came out in 2009, but I sort of want to preface it a little bit by talking about some other stuff too. So 2009, a lot of people don't like. A lot of people are like, oh, they changed everything and they went to a completely new location and they ruined Mata Nui and they blah, 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 blah. I really like 2009. Oh, by the way, I switched over some parts. I put all the yellow parts with the orange parts and then brought this back over here. Just FYI. Anyway, I really like 2009. I think they did a great job with it, and I'll go into further detail with that a little bit later. But yeah, it completely changed location. It was sort of almost like a soft reboot in a way, but it was towards the end, and I don't know, it felt a little bit rushed. The pacing was kind of strange. Anyway, a lot of people don't like it. I really do. I think it's honestly one of my favorite years overall. My number one favorite year is 2002. I might have made that clear in my 2002 set reviews. I really like 2002. I think as far as the sets go and the story goes, it's solid overall. Oh, by the way, I also found a couple more broken connector pieces in between videos here. So I guess I was wrong. I said there were only 2 or 3 and there's more like 5 or 6 that are broken. Sad day. Oh well, it's still pretty good condition overall. But continuing on, 2002, my favorite year. I also really like 2006. For a lot of reasons. A lot of people, similarly to the way they don't like 2009, don't like 2006 because of the shift. Because it was overall a massive shift in tone. A lot of people say things like, oh, it's just grimdark it's just dark for the sake of being dark, and characters are defined by their kill counts and not by actual personality, and it's just trying to be all edgy. I never really felt that way. Yeah, there was a shift in tone, absolutely. It became a different beast at that time. But I'm going to put these the way the instructions tells me to, just because. Anyway, I never really felt it was too dark. I never felt like Voya Nui was a dark island, sure, but I don't know. That's just my personal opinion. I never thought it was beyond what it should be. It was a serious part in the story, and it makes sense to me that it would be a little bit more serious and a little bit more edgy just by nature, but I don't know. Anyway, I enjoy 2006 just because it feels a lot like a melding pot of everything we'd seen so far. You had everyone returning from Mata Nui to Metro Nui after they had defeated Makuta in 2003, and that was really cool. And then you had all of the original Turaga, which we now knew had been Toa, meeting up with Turaga Duma, who we'd met in 2004 in Metro Nui, and that was cool. You had all of the older Toa we knew and loved, and then you had all of the more prominent Matoran we'd met in the in the earlier years as well, meeting back up again with Takanuva, and he just had a lot of good things coming together and going on. And then, you know, you learn, oh, by the way, Madanui, yeah, that guy it's our destiny to wake up. He's dying. He's totally dying, and you gotta go find the Mask of Life and save him. So the Toanuva go to do just that. And they go to Voyanui and get completely wrecked by the Paraka. And I really like that the whole scene with the fight between the Paraka and the Toanuva on Voyanui, because, like, it's the first time the Toanuva really lose. I mean, they went through some tough spots before, but, like, of course, like, Liwa got controlled twice, and, you know, they had a tough time because they lost their powers against the Borakal and whatnot, but they never had really lost before, at least not to the extent that they just completely got defeated, like really defeated against the Paraka, and that was really cool. You know, it brought them back down to a certain level. Like at that point, I guess at least I did, just assume like they're the good guys. They always win, you know, like that's just what happens. But then no, they like totally lose. They totally, like, really actually lose, and their masks are taken away, and they're gonna get thrown into a volcano, and then they're, you know, just held prisoner for a while. And so all of the Matoran we'd learned about go after them. They sneak away without permission from the Turaga, with Takanuva, so that's cool. You get to see all them working together with their, you know, former Matoran friend. And, you know, it's like, oh, by the way, you know, I guess we'd learned this in some of the earlier years in, like, you know, 2002 and whatever, against, like, the Bohrok. But, like, yeah, like, Toa aren't the only heroes. Like, Matoran can be heroes, too. And then they go through Karzani, which is a really good, like, world-building part of the story. You know, it kind of broadens the horizon of the universe a little bit. And then they get turned into Toa, and that's super cool, you know, seeing, like, we saw the Turaga back on Metra Nui go from Matoran to Toa to Turaga, so we got, like, an idea of the life cycle a little bit, but these were, like, Matoran we'd known from the past getting turned into Toa, and that was really cool, and they're going to save the Toanuva and also get the Mask of Life. It's like I said, it was just a really cool melding pot of ideas from all of the other years combined, and I really, really enjoyed that. Now, 2009 didn't really do that, but I still really, really like it. I think it was exceptionally well done, given the amount of time that, like, they had. Like, within a year or two, let's see, how do I want this? I'll put that on the 5, I guess, this little life counter thing. Anyway, given the amount of time they had to flesh out an entirely new world, like, they had, like, 9 years, or 8 years, rather, 7, actually. They had 7 years to flesh out the Matoran universe, and we didn't even learn legitimately that it was a giant robot, that they were all inside of a giant robot until, like, the last year of that 7 or 8 year run, you know, like, so we now had to sort of learn about this completely new world in a year. And I think between the books and the Madanui's Guide to Bara Magna, and to a lesser extent the movie, they did a really good job. I think, like I said, given the situation, I love that saga. between let's see, the order you should follow the 2009. Well, that's a long neck. Kind of a small head. That's a little weird looking. Anyway, the order you should follow the 2009 story in is like you should start by reading Raid on Volcanus, the book Raid on Volcanus, because it does an excellent job at introducing you to all of the characters and the setting and sort of the tone of the world you're entering in this year. Hold on. It actually tells me to put the mask on here. I'm not. I'm going to put this pin in the mask and set that off to the side and put that on last. Just personal preference. Anyway, so Raid on Volcanus does an excellent job at telling you all this stuff. Actually, in the instruction manual, it tells me to build the legs now, but we already did that because we're doing this all out of order and whatnot. So let's actually, I think I can just skip pretty much the end of this manual and move on to number 2. So let's do that. A little bit more leg action going on at the front of this manual. And now it would seem we're back to here, where we can actually attach the legs. Hold on, did I? No, actually, hold on. Yes, no, no, yes, no, no. Okay, I'm actually supposed to take these and put them on here, I believe. Yes, like this. Okay, now we're back on track. Anyway, then after Raid on Volcanus, you should watch the movie. But honestly, I highly recommend reading the novelization of Legend Reborn. And actually, hold on. Yeah, on the back of this instruction booklet, there you go. Legend Reborn. I'd recommend actually not watching the movie first. I'd recommend actually reading the novelization first, because here's the thing. And I feel the same way about sort of the 2006 saga a little bit. I'm going off on sort of a tangent here, but bear with me. With the books, you can sort of create your own feel for the story. You know, you can sort of visualize a different tone than the movies allow. Is that good? Is there nothing broken? Okay, good. And hold on a second. Hold on a darn second. Okay. Oh yeah, this is a piston, so I can just lift it up. Sorry if you can't see that. This is gonna be a big thing. Anyway, so like the 2006 books, I feel like if you read them alone and just depending on how you interpret some of the situations that happen, you don't have to submit to the whole like it's grimdark for the sake of being grimdark thing that a lot of people feel. And same thing with like the novelizations of the movies. Visually and through the voice acting and characterization, the movies sort of force a tone on you that if you read the novelizations, you don't have to accept. The tone and how you take in the media and understand it can kind of be your own thing, if you know what I'm saying. Do you understand me? I think I'm making it kind of clear, but I don't know. Anyway, so I feel like reading the novelization of Legend Reborn makes it a lot less, makes the events that happen in the story at that point a lot less campy and just a little better. You know, you can also read it at your own pace, and you don't have to take in that story information in a hour-and-a-half setting or whatever. So yeah, and I feel kind of similar about the Legends of Metra Nui and Mask of Light novelizations, although in a lot of ways the Mask of Light novelization is a little bit skimpy on a couple parts, but whatever. Let's not get into that. So yeah, read the novelization of Legend Reborn, and then if you must, I'm actually going to use some of these more broken. Hold on, let me see if these are actually. See that? No, that's just cracked a little bit. That's not broken. Is this one? This one is split. This one is also split completely. This one? Yeah, that one is too. Okay, so here are these three. I actually did replace the one that was broken on the leg with one that wasn't. So yeah, I think there still are only 3 completely split broken ones. Anyway, we're building the arms now. So yes, read the novelization of Legend Reborn. Then, if you must, watch the movie. I think as far as Legend Reborn movie goes, I think the voice acting is fantastic. Personally, from most angles, the voice acting and the casting is great in that movie. It's just sort of the direction that I think is a little lame-ish, if not sort of just confused on some level. But yeah, so I recommend the novelization in that instance. Then, hold on a gosh darn second. Yeah, no, that should be fun. Anyway, I was just like, should this really be a broken one? Because that might be difficult to replace, but oh well. And then after that, I cannot recommend enough the Modenui's Guide to Bara Magna. And you should really, really read that. It is great. And it does so much world building and really gives you a feel for Bara Magna and for Spherus Magna and a lot of information that I think you really should know. Also, you should also read. There was a Paperclips graphic novel that most of the time the Paperclips graphic novels were just reprintings of the comics we got in Lego Magazine. Okay. And but this one was a complete exclusive graphic novel. None of them had been printed for the Lego Magazine at all. And it's got also a lot. That's where All Our Sins Remembered that I mentioned in the first part of this Let's Build came from. And it's really good too. Like, it is really good. And again, gives you a lot of insight and a lot of story for, like, the Skrull and Malum and some of the other side characters, and just for the world that these years or this year, 2009, I guess 2010, take place in. So I cannot recommend that enough. I think Makuda's Guide to the Universe is also really good, but all of that is recap. Everything in that book is recap, but Modenui's Guide to Bara Magna gives you a lot of new information. So there's that. What else? So yeah, read all of that in sort of that order, I feel. Actually, you could probably read the comics and the graphic novel before you start Raid on Vulcanus, perhaps. I don't know. You can sort of do that in any order you want. But I definitely recommend reading Modenui's Guide to Bara Magna after all of that, because it just gives you a lot of insight on all the characters that you've already learned a little bit about. Then, and I know I said I was talking about 2009, and really this is sort of more of a 2010 material. By the way, just checking in here, we've got some arms going on, and it's telling us to build hands now, so I'm going to set these off to the side and start building some hands. Anyway, I understand it's 2010 material technically, but after all of that is said and done, read the comics. Actually, I'd wait reading the comics and read the online book Journey's End, which is the final book in BIONICLE. And fortunately, it was never released in a physical form in English. It was just online. I think it was published in Polish, and like that's it, which is very disappointing because it's pretty good. It is actually, no, it is really good and really makes me appreciate those couple of story years. Like I said, some people just hate the direction BIONICLE took in the last couple years and are bitter about it, and I don't feel that way at all. I think it's great. Some of the best storytelling takes place in Journey's End. Hold on, should this, yes? Is this how it should be? Is that, this is sticking out there, but, is that how it's meant to be? I can't see any reason why it wouldn't. Okay. Okay, then. Like, what? But hold on. There is something going on here. Is there, though? I'm sorry. Whatever. I'm just going to leave it like this for the sake of continuing what I was talking about. But yeah, Journey's End, I cannot recommend enough. Go find it. It's online. It's great. And it, like I said, it really makes me appreciate those characters, because it takes the characters we learn about in just 1 year and really makes me care about them. Like, Madanui learns who he is and learns exactly what his purpose was as a big old giant robot, and he then realizes that all of the Bara Magna citizens, you know, their villages are built around more giant robots, like another prototype giant robot. And like, he goes to the Skrull maze or whatever, or the maze that the Skrull shield is based on, at least, and finds like the core to hold on. Whoops. Okay. And finds like the core to power this robot, and then he goes to like Ranu, who is like the Taragavakama sort of elder type guy of this city that they've built. They joined all the villages together to make sort of this giant robot shaped city, and he's like, dude, Makuta is coming. Like, you don't know who this is. Oh, I actually did this wrong. Okay. All right. I was right when I did this. And then I was supposed to do this. And the thumb goes on like that. All right. Anyway, he's like, I know you don't have any concept of who this guy is, but he's in a giant planet-sized robot, and he's gonna come and kill everyone if you don't let me take your city. And use it to defeat him. Like, there is zero way that there's nothing I can say that will make you believe me or trust me, but it has to happen or you're all gonna die. And it's like this super serious, like, deep moment, and I love it. And then Gresh, who just before then would have thrown his life down for Madanui, starts doubting him, and Akina starts doubting him, or maybe she believes him. I don't know. Anyway, it's just this, as a character, he runs on this fine line between betrayal and trust, and they just met him like months ago, but he's now asking them to risk their lives for him, and it's really deep stuff, and I love it. I also just love how BIONICLE ended. Personally, I am a fan of how BIONICLE ended. Some people are like, oh, it wasn't finished. But those are really the only people who were following the serials very closely. And I never really did. Like, serials to me were always bonus story information, and while they gave you insight on some characters, I don't, like I said, I didn't follow them nearly as closely as other people did. And yeah, the serials were never finished. Like, the online sub-stories that Greg Farshtey wrote, they were really never finished. There was lots of loose ends there. But the main story, the Makuta versus Madanui, the main idea ended. It did. And, hold on, what's going on here? I need to do, what? What did I do? What did I do over on the other hand? There's something missing. Hold on. Too busy talking about stuff. Oh, I'm actually building this a little bit wrong. Whoops. Okay, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna say, sit tight, little hand, and I'm gonna move into the instructions where it tells me to build the mirrored hand. Actually, it tells me to build the sword first, but that should be pretty straightforward, actually. So, hand 2. Where are you? Here we go. Okie dokie. So let's see what we've got so far. We've got this. We do have this. That's right. There we go. I just didn't have that pushed in all the way. Okay, so I was doing it right. I'm sorry once again. But yeah, a lot of people are like, oh, it's unfinished. But like I said, the main story finished, and I think it's sufficient. It ended in a sufficiently epic way for a 9-year run. Like, hold on, what? There's a piece not here, but there was a piece. This piece was there last night. It might be on the floor in my other room. I'm also doing this backwards. Oh no. Oh no. Okay. It was going so great. I was talking about story, and now it's falling apart. But oh well. Like I said, I'll go find that piece in just a second. I'll pause, go find it, and then come back. But I just want to finish my main topic here. It ended in such a sufficiently epic way. Like, it was a giant planet-sized robot versus another giant-sized planet robot for the fate of the universe. And that is awesome. To me, that is all I could ask for. That is incredible. And I thought it ended well. I thought the last couple of years were handled pretty well. Especially considering, like, it's a Lego theme. Like, come on. How many Lego themes get, like, closure? Get actual bona fide finales? Not many. BIONICLE did in some capacity. And that's great. So that's my final thought. I loved it. Anyway, actually, you know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking they included a little bit of a wrong piece here. Unless, no, actually they didn't. You know what? You're all laughing at me because I realize I made a mistake, that this is not the right piece on the thumb. I figured out my flaw, and it's been God knows how long since I built that hand. Shouldn't have been too long, actually. But no, the thumb is actually meant to be built like this. Ta-da! I'm sorry. I'm sorry I misled you. And this piece actually is here. So, crisis averted. It's not on the floor in the other room like I might have suspected. It is right here. And the hands are complete. And here is the other arm. And bada bing, bada boom. So yeah, that gave us, that little rant I had about the story of BIONICLE brought us on a little journey through this 30 minutes of video that's been going on so far. And I hope you enjoyed that. But from this point on, I have nothing else to talk about. So, look! We got a giant robot man. So there's that. Now, we can start building the weapons? Yeah? Actually, what I'm going to do before I start building the weapons is put on his little shoulder spikes. It tells me to do this later. I think it's like the last step, but I don't understand why. So, yeah. Hold on. So, these pieces are just going to stick out. That's just what they're going to do. Nothing you can do about that. But then, these little scarabacks, shoulder spiky looking things go on the shoulders. Jeez, I'm having a hard time with this. There we go. They go on the shoulders like that. We are really out of space at this point. Oh boy. Okay, well, let's build the weapons and get this over with. Before this entire Let's Build in its entirety between these two parts is longer than a feature film. I'd still rather watch this than Legend Reborn. No, actually, I really like Legend Reborn for the most part. A lot of people really give it a bad rap. And yeah, it's not great. I think the animation is beautiful, like I said. And I think the animation is beautiful, period. And like I said, I think the voice acting and casting is great. But aside from that, it's a thing. It's kind of just okay. It's okay. It's just okay. So here's his sword, and speaking of Legend Reborn, it looks nothing like his sword in the movie, which is a bit of a shame. I actually made a custom sword for my Motonui, cut in some pieces to make it look as accurate to the movie as possible. I regret nothing! And I also actually kit bashed a little click together to go on his shoulder. I might show those off at some point. But not for a while. Because I'll probably show them off in the review for that Motonui set, and I'm not even anywhere close to that. Oh, by the way, I was also supposed to take this piece and put that on. I missed this piece on one of the arms. It goes on his bicep here. Ta-da! There it is. We did it. Anywho, here's a sword. We're gonna put that in there. Now we build his weird looking shield thing. Now, very similar to how his sword looks nothing like it does in the movie. This set's shield Thornax launcher thing looks nothing like his Scaraback shield in either the movie or on the smaller set. I don't know what they were thinking with this whole thing. It's super weird, and I don't really like. As much as I think the sword is a missed opportunity, I think this shield is just kind of falling out of my hand. I think it's just sort of weird. Anyway, there we go. There we go. Ta-da. So there's those. Now, you got this, and you got this, and you got another one of these, and we take the other side of the Thornax launcher, and that goes on there like that. Okie doke. Next, we put some of these through here like this, and attach this piece on like this. Almost done here. Almost done. Fortunately, rambling on about my opinions on the BIONICLE storyline got me through this without losing sanity up until this point. So that's cool. But it could all go wrong in a matter of seconds. Who knows? So after I'm done putting this all together, which is now just about, all I gotta do is take this, put that on there, and this, and put that on there, And then give him a Thornax thing, and you got this super goofy looking shield monstrosity. I am going to set up the camera in some kind of convincing way, give him his weapons, and put on the Mask of Life, and we'll call this a good thing. So I'll be right back in a matter of seconds for you, and who knows how long for me. All right, so here we are up top. He certainly is big. And what a handsome fellow, with his tiny, tiny head and very long neck. Hopefully the Mask of Life helps fix that. But first, let's give him his sword. So now he's a fighting man. He can swashbuckle and whatnot. And here is his weird looking shield. Now it has this thing, but that actually doesn't do anything. I guess like you could attach it to the bottom of his arm here, but it's actually meant to attach with this piece on his like wrist section here. So I don't understand why that piece is there at all. Yeah, he's got his like Thornax launcher here. Ah! I hit my light. That was exciting. And good guy eBay seller gave me a second one once again. Yeah, I don't know. I think it only comes with one. It says it only comes with one in the instructions. Maybe it comes with two. Maybe he just gave me a second one. I don't know. But you also have this, like, thing going on with the shield where it opens and closes. There's no rubber band. It just does this. It's not like an action feature. It just kind of opens and closes. So wow, that's exciting. And now, let's actually give him a Thornax here. And finally put on the Mask of Life. There we go. And, ooh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That really improves his look in just about every way possible. He looks so much better with that on, and yeah, he's kind of cool. I don't know. He's big. He's impressive. Like, the colors are still weird, but yep. He certainly is a Modanui Bionicle man. So now I'm going to pull the camera back here and reveal that I've had the smaller Modanui here down below. And yes, I do keep little tubs full of plastic beat-em-on marbles. They hold up my backdrop here, and they have for pretty much all of my videos. But yeah, there is the normal size Modanui. There's the big guy. Let's put him over here and pull this guy over here. I just figured I'd show this now, since a proper review for this guy probably won't be up for years. By the time I get to 2009, are you kidding me? Anyway, I also thought, since I mentioned it earlier, I'd also show off, let's see if I can get this guy out of the way as much as possible. I'd show off the custom sword. Somebody else made this, I don't remember who. I saw a picture and I sort of copied it. It requires cutting some pieces here, but I think it's worth it. I think it looks super cool. And just wouldn't it have been way cooler if the set actually came with something that looked like this and not that? I don't know. And then I also made this little tiny click. Kit bashed it, once again, cut up some parts, glue them together. But yeah, it's this tiny click that can fit on his shoulder, made of Lego pieces. So there's that. There you go, that's how Modanui is up on my shelf. And of course, like I said, here's the big guy. One last little comparison here, since I also mentioned it. Here is Toa Modanui. Big ol' Modanui with big ol' Makuta Pterodax Ultimate Duma. And, yeah. I really like the way they look together. Little bit more behind the scenes action here than I intended, but they are very, very large. Anyway, there they are together, the ultimate good and the ultimate evil. I really like Ultimate Duma. A lot of people don't. He is kind of weird and gangly, but yeah, he's also very dusty and covered in spider webs. But yeah, there you go. There's the two together. And I really like that. I think they pair very nicely. Anyway, there you go. This has been an adventure. This has been a thing. And just like with the first video, at this point, I've wasted enough of your time, so I will let you go. That is about it, guys, and this is IX Roll It IX, signing off.